Welcome back to MFM. Today I got a 3D printer. It is the Monoprice MK1 and it's a beast. It's way bigger than my last printer. I'll put that up now. That printer was a knockoff of a knockoff of a knockoff Chinese 3D printer. So I upgraded to the awesome MK1 and it has a pretty much all metal extruder. It's awesome. Silent stepper motors. It actually has an on-off button. It's touchscreen, all aluminum body, heated build plate with magnetic bed. That right there is one of my favorite features because when you're done with the print, you just peel it up, it just pops off. But this is not its home. I want it on wheels, and this is what I have right here. This is a old what is it called, EKG machine. This giant solid metal extruded aluminum piece of equipment is going to be the stand, and as you can see, this is a pretty thin piece of porcelain. This is what I had the last one sitting on that I just showed you the picture of. And yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to take this board, which is plenty more thick than the porcelain, as you can see. Yeah, we're going to cut this in half, glue the two pieces together. It's going to make like a 1 inch thick sheet, and then we're going to drill the holes in it just like this has in it, and then we are going to mount it on top of that. That printer, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it weighs like between 30 and 40 pounds. It's really heavy, and for obvious reasons I don't want it just chilling on a piece of porcelain on a moving stand on 4 bolt holes that are only like 2 inches across. I put it up here and it held, but man, was I nervous. That piece of equipment is worth way more than a $20 piece of wood and some glue and some screws. So we're gonna put it together. We're gonna go outside right now. Well, welcome to the outdoors. Here we are. Let's see. What I got set up here for you is this. I got the saw, screwdriver, screws, plate to measure off of, and then we're just gonna zip this in half, take it down to 2 pieces, then we're gonna measure it against that, see where the center is. Pretty much we're gonna have to cut every edge, which is not that big of a deal anyway, because my plan is I want to make it the exact same size as that, and then put like a nice edge trim around it, make it look like really nice and finished. Don't want to leave any like dirty, mangled edges all over the places. But yeah, you know what? I looked for my glue, could not find the glue, so we're only gonna be able to screw this together, and I don't know. That's pretty much it. I don't really need the glue anyway. If I really think I need it later on because it's so stinking heavy, then I can just, undo it, unscrew it, glue it, screw it, and then redo it. So I'm gonna get to it. That's what I'm talking about right there. That is a solid platform now. This is something I'd trust that heavy 3D printer on for sure. Especially with a nice tile on top. Yeah. Check that out. Trim, 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 trim. Put some nice edging on there. And that's done. Oh yeah, obviously I didn't measure where the screws are going to go on the outside, but that's okay. I can always just move them in a little bit. Anyways, I'm going to finish this up. I will meet you back at the stand. So we're back inside. Undoubtedly, you probably have a couple questions like, where does Guy get a random EKG stand? Why plywood and porcelain tile? Why not just tile? Why not just wood? And those are all very valid questions. The answer is this. One, when I had it set up before, it was a really light printer, and I was able to use this. This is just a ring that goes between the toilet bowl and the toilet. And this just so happened to have the perfect fit for the top. And then I had the porcelain on top of that. And when I did that, it was just enough to keep it from messing with the porcelain, because this is obviously a very hard surface. And this is actually a really, really tough rubber. And it worked perfectly. But when I upgraded to the larger printer, it would not take, well, in my mind, it's not going to take the weight for very long, and it shakes a lot. You know, if you set your print speed really high, that print head is just going, it's jamming. It's going back and forth so fast. But yeah, that's why I'm not doing just porcelain, because I could stack another piece of porcelain on there, but it's the same thing. It's just as likely to crack. And the reason I don't use just wood is because if I use just wood, what ends up happening is it warps over time. So this piece was actually a little bit bowed, and really I wanted to stay away from it, but obviously I can't get a perfect piece of wood for under 20 bucks, at least not around where I am, apparently. But the combination of the two, this is a good support because it can't crack, and being on a small base, you need something that's really sturdy, you know, when it's on top. And I didn't want to, you know, mess with brackets from the bottom and make it some big old spider rig thing that's so ugly I just don't even want it in the room anymore. I wanted it simple, and that was what I got with the porcelain. But obviously I don't want it to crack and have a $400 3D printer plop onto the floor and it's over from there. So that's why I'm going with the wood. That's why I doubled up the wood, because if the porcelain does crack, then it will be caught by the wood. But the main reason for using the porcelain is because it's manufactured in such a way that it just is pretty much perfectly level, and that way I never have anything happen to the printer. Like you saw earlier, I had to shim it to be able to get it level on that wooden desk, and that wooden desk looks ridiculously flat. So if that is tweaked, then, you know, Everything else is going to be tweaked. So that's why I went with the porcelain, because it's so ridiculously flat. But at any rate, if you have any other questions, put them down in the comment section below. I will get back to you, no problem. I check them pretty much after every video that I post, and then periodically after that. So let's get this thing put together. I'm going to do a little time lapse, and I will see you soon. Okie doke, we're done. We got all 3 layers on here. I got some washers with these bolts. Bolts are about 45 mil long to be able to fit through about, I don't know, probably 30 mil worth of material. But now I got a nice flat, even surface to put a printer on, which is great because, like I said before, we don't want it getting tweaked over time. And this way I can actually move it around the room. So if I want to change of pace, change of location on it, I can print somewhere else. Like if I want to use the room or something, I could take it somewhere else and plug it in and do my printing anyway. But yeah, I plan on printing fishing lures with this printer, and I'd like to do like a, I don't know, 15-inch swim bait with it. We'll see. I got another video coming up on that. But until next time, have fun out there. Thanks for tuning in to MFM, and I will see you next time. Go make yourself a 3D printer stand.